Among Western elites, there is certainly a very strong and persistent desire to freeze the current situation, the unfair and deeply unequal state of affairs in international relations. They've always been used to filling their bellies with human flesh and stuffing their pockets with money for centuries, but they really must understand that the vampire ball is finally coming to an end.
Vampire ball.
Russia's got a few things to say about these Epstein files. Coming up next.
If President Putin has a lot to say about the Epstein files, what about us?
I'll tell you what, Eddie.
I'll tell you what. Let me tell you, the Epstein files, the whole Epstein saga has dominated social media. It's all over X. It's been this way since for about a week now.
Yeah.
And I'm personally horrified, but yet not surprised by the revelations that we're seeing. But I'm actually even more horrified by some of the members of our government and members of Congress, and just the apathy, just the oh, I don't even know the word, the dismissiveness
Yep.
of something so horrific. It's just incredible.
I just don't understand, Eddie, why you don't want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I just don't understand why you want to talk about him.
Well, you know, he is he's protected.
Yeah.
He's protected.
And he's supposed to be dead too, yeah.
Supposed to be dead, but even that's into question. Of course, conspiracy theory.
Absolutely.
But you know, conspiracy theory has a way of becoming truth about 6 months down the road.
So. No, people who are influencers, people who rule our country, it's a mockery, really, at the end of the day. And I think that they just want to see how far they can push everybody. Well, obviously, we're horrified as Americans. The Russians have a lot to say. Everyday Russians. To you, to me, what have they said to you?
You know, of course, you and I know many Russians who think fondly of America because of Hollywood and the propaganda and the picture, the white picket fences and all this stuff, Americana.
Yeah.
And they, if you think we are horrified, they are even more so, because they're looking at you and me and saying, how could you let this happen? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And not only are they asking, how can you let this happen? But that is a very good question. How did we let this happen? How are we letting it happen? And if you just follow the posts on X and just see the videos coming out every day, how many people are just apathetic toward it?
Yeah.
Or they're horrified for the first 5 seconds.
Sure.
And then reality hits. Oh, I've got to go to work. I've got to pay my bills. I've got to do all this other stuff that we need to, and we forget about it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's proved that we've been programmed, right? This
absolutely.
The fact that the world is watching us in horror, at least Russia is watching in horror, Europe probably up to par with this kind of activity,
Sure.
clearly. But Russians are absolutely horrified. Eastern countries are absolutely horrified. How could this happen and nobody pays the price? No, there are no consequences.
There are
to
no
this.
consequences because no one has been brought up on any charges.
Yeah.
No one's been arrested. And if you listen to Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, even President Trump is telling the American people to move on. Pam Bondi won't even answer the question.
No. What kind of a world do we live in that the Democrats are getting? Yeah, look, we're going to play this for you. You've probably seen this video, but you should really watch this video. And we have some comments about it.
Florida ranks third nationally in calls for help for human trafficking, where young women and children are enslaved and abused. I knew we needed all hands on deck. Businesses and hospitals to spot it, our great law enforcement to stop it, and tougher penalties to punish it. We're taking on Medicaid fraud, pill mills, gangs, and more, and I'll fight to put human trafficking monsters where they belong, behind bars.
Pam Bondi, our Attorney General.
A few years later.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. You know, all they want to do, all the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
I've never wanted to wring somebody's neck like that in my entire life.
Bimbo Bondi.
Bimbo Bondi.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know what else to say. I mean, there are worse things that should be said, but
Now,
yeah.
No, I don't mean any disrespect to the bimbos in America. But Pam Bondi is not even a good bimbo because she was reading the
Script.
the script of what to answer. She kept getting handed by staffers. Oh, by the way, here, say this. And she's looking down, and the best that one of her staffers could come up with, the best response to, are you going to prosecute anybody, is
The Dow's up.
the Dow is up. $50,000.
Oh, yeah.
It's measured in dollars, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was literally in those few minutes, that was the vast majority of problems of what is wrong with America in just a few minutes. You have animals. That room is full of animals. These people
On
are
both
perverts.
sides.
On both sides.
On both sides.
These people are perverts. They're thieves. They're liars. Pam Bondi, being the exhibit A of lying. Yeah, they don't exist. Again, this is pure gaslighting. This is pure gaslighting. They exist. They're on my desk. We're going to do it. No, they don't exist. Now it's everybody else's fault, and everybody's got anti-Trump derangement syndrome.
Sure.
Because how dare you question if anybody's been prosecuted for this?
Pam Bondi's performance yesterday before Congress, before that committee, was nothing but a double-fisted, double-barrel up yours, America.
Yeah.
To you, the American people, to me, Joseph, we do not care.
No.
That's exactly what it was. And here's the thing. By no way am I a Jamie Raskin fan or a Jerry Nadler fan, but they scored major points yesterday. And here's a warning to the Republicans. You keep this up, you're going to lose the midterms. In fact, I'll just go ahead and predict it now. They're done.
They're done.
They're done. You keep that up. The midterms are going to return back to the Democrats. And guess what? Oh, in the second 2 years of this Trump presidency, those tables are going to turn. Now, nothing's going to happen. Nobody's going to jail.
No.
No one's getting prosecuted. Let's just be clear about that. But it's just going to flip the script and everything is going to happen. Everything's going to continue the same is what I mean.
Yep.
Now, which brings up another video from
Nick Freitas.
Nick Freitas.
And we're going to play that for you. The one last point that I want to round up on is this thing that Pam Bondi said. It was just like the ultimate final insult in her little rant here, which was to keep Americans safe.
Oh.
Are you kidding? That you just proved that there are no consequences for people with lots of money, that they can be bought and paid for. Everybody can be shut up. Not a single person has been prosecuted. Do we think for one single minute that this is something that just happened and then that stopped several years ago? No, it continues every single day. And they are mocking all of us. They're mocking the world and showing that they can do whatever the hell they want and they're going to get away with it. And I'm sorry to say, it's even the people that we considered the heroes, the people who are posting memes all over the place about how great the Mother of God is, and then in their text message and the back end, they insult and deride and blaspheme on the back end. This is gaslighting. It's out of control. And this video that you're referring to, it's fantastic video. Let's play it really quick.
Well, before we even get there, let me go ahead and circle back.
Yeah.
Who made that famous? I can't.
Circle back. Yeah.
Anyway.
Circle back. Redhead, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Pam Bondi, when she brought up the Dow. Okay, let's dissect that little messaging. What that was trying to tell you, America, is money is more important than the safety of your children and your family. It means actually absolutely nothing. Because if you've got money, what she didn't say was if you have money, you're protected. And the Dow is up. So these guys are making cash. They're making bank. They're protected. It's sometimes more important to pay attention to what isn't being said than what is actually being said. And so enough with that.
Yeah. Well, saying to this exact point, there is not a single person in that room that gives one crap about the children. Nobody's thinking about the children. Okay? Everybody's thinking about getting paid, winning points, winning midterms, defending Trump. There's
100%.
Nothing defensible about any of this.
100%.
Nothing.
Jamie Raskin, Jerry Nadler, everybody on that side yesterday, even though I may personally agree with some of the things they said, but make no mistake, they are not concerned with protecting the children. They are concerned with winning midterms. So let's be clear about that. But and Pam Bondi saying it's about protecting, what did she say? To keep America safe?
Americans safe.
What she is saying, let's just say what she's not saying. We can keep America safe, but we're not going to keep your children and your family safe from predators.
Yep.
That's what she said. without having said it. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with Trump. Let's just say,
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I'm done with Trump. Not that I was ever really on Team Trump, but I'm done with Trump. I'm done with Kash Patel, who's also another liar. I'm done with Pam Bot. I'm done with both sides of it. I'm just going to save it till after this video.
All right.
Let's roll this video.
Listen to Nick Freitas.
Well, the newest release of the Epstein files have confirmed what I think many of us already knew. Powerful people were doing horrible things and are continuing to get away with it. And I think we need an example to be set. We really do. I realize that not everybody that happens to be mentioned in an email is complicit in a crime, but Epstein was a horrible human being that was doing horrible things to children, and a lot of people seem to be surprisingly comfortable with it. And I don't think we're going to get past this until we do a couple of things. One, an example needs to be set. And I mean like medieval style example needs to be set. We need to change some laws, get some convictions, and make what happens next incredibly public to somebody who engaged in this, who is very, very powerful, because I want the people that would do this no matter what to be scared to death of what could actually happen to them. The other thing we need to realize is that when we are constantly pushing sexual degeneracy, this ends up becoming more and more acceptable behavior. When you got authors for the Washington Post talking about how much they like exposing their kids to kink, you know you're in a bad spot. And thirdly, over 1,200 victims, many of them, most of them probably minors. Hey, dads, yeah, we need to make sure that never happens to our kid, because it needs to be very, very clear that anybody that touches our children, regardless of what else happens, there's going to be a reckoning.
Make an example. Medieval style. I don't think that there's anything in those words that Nick is saying that I disagree with.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And, I'm going to go back a few years, and I'm not going to mention the source, but many of you will probably remember some of these words. And that is, what happens when people learn the truth? What happens when people wake up? They will not be able to walk down the street. The Great Awakening. Maybe some of you have heard those words, and I will remind you of more. Important to understand. Only at the precipice, the moment of destruction, will people find the will to change. So my question is, are we at the precipice yet?
I think the point is that we don't have one. We don't have one. We're not allowed to have heroes. We're not allowed to have martyrs. We're just going to bleed you dry. We're going to suck you dry. We're going to keep you paranoid. We're going to keep you worried. We're going to keep you comfortable. Outside of the fact that
your 401k's up.
Yeah, well, your 401k's up. I mean, somebody's got to pay the heating bill. Come on. But this is crazy. There are not going to be any consequences. That's the problem. This is exactly the problem. So look, I agree with what Nick is saying, but there are no consequences. And I put this out on Twitter yesterday, and somebody's like, so you're just saying that resistance is futile. That's the message that you're trying to send. No, resistance isn't futile. The point is that nobody's going to resist. That's the point. It's not that they won't win when they do resist. There's no resisting. That's the point.
And that's also the point that the Russians, our friends who have spoken to us about it, have said, if this were to have happened here, there would be consequences, and immediate consequences, because, well, family is important here.
You don't touch the kids here.
Children are like gold,
yeah,
as you have said before and many times. There would be consequences here in Russia. Absolutely. And this is the shock, I believe, on most Russians who have thought of Americans as better than that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying your inaction is more of a disappointment to us than anything else.
That's it. If it happened in Russia, there would be blood on the walls. There would be people that are been killed because they do not allow people to touch the children. They're untouchable. You have a conversation with somebody. You might be having a hard conversation with somebody. I have personal experience with this when I'm dealing with children and things that relate to my children. I'm talking about a problem that I'm having and I need to fix it. And they're like, well, and I'm like, hey, my children. And then all of a sudden the demeanor immediately changes. They're like, whoa, okay, all right. Your children being affected. Okay, well, let's fix this or let's fix that or let me give you half price on this or, people want to give you, they love children. Absolutely. And they just looking at America in complete horror. I had an interview yesterday where a reporter was asking me about how our life is here and and do you think you'll maybe move back to America? Now that traditional values are returning to America and Donald Trump is said a man is a man and a woman is a woman. And I just looked at her. I'm like, you not even know what's going on this week? Do you not see the literal facade that has completely fallen down? The emperors have no clothes and they're not even ashamed.
Not at all. Not at all.
And they looked at you directly in front of the camera. This is it right here. Trust the plan. It's okay. They're still coming. The cavalry is still coming. Trust the plan. Everything is going to be okay. The people are going to be prosecuted. People were talking about the election being rigged. Does that compare in any way, shape, or form to this? At all?
Not at all.
There are more people that were upset about the election than this.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were rallies, there were stadiums full of people because they were just like, we're going to win.
Very good point. So there were protests after George Floyd. There were protests after the election. Where are the protests regarding Jeffrey Epstein? Where are they? And I'll tell you where they are. They're nowhere to be found. Do you know why? Because there's no funding for it. And why is there no funding for it? Because the people who have the funding are part of the problem. It's a big club and you ain't in it.
That's right. Soros ain't going to pay for protests against this.
Oh.
I don't think Donald Trump is going to pay for protests against this.
No.
Nobody's going to pay for it.
There's no protest.
Yeah.
There's no protest. And the fact of the matter is, you're too worried about paying your heating bills this winter.
Yes, sir.
And about your mortgage and about where are you going to take the kids on vacation this summer? You're more concerned about that. And I am not throwing any shade at anybody trying to take care of their family. But let's just be realistic. There's a reason that you're more concerned with that than about this. And it's been by design for decades. But until people like Nick Freitas, who want to get medieval on these people and willing to do it, well, things change. And I don't know if they'll ever get to that point, but if you expect the Democrats to make arrests, you're fooling yourself. If you expect Pam Bondi or whoever comes in later to replace her, because I probably think she might be on the way out, maybe not today, but probably within 6 months. I'll just make that prediction today. Whoever replaces her, no difference.
Yeah. Well, you can see it on her face. This is a 60-year-old woman with no kids. She has
no children.
No children.
Pam Bondi is 60 years old and has no children. She will never have children. How?
No empathy.
None.
No capability
no empathy,
for it.
No compassion, because she didn't go through that process of becoming a mom.
Yeah.
And becoming a parent.
That's it.
And Nick Freitas said too, talking to the dads.
Yeah.
Hey, you going to allow somebody to touch your child?
No.
Pam Bondi doesn't care who touches children because she doesn't have any skin in the game.
No, that's it. And this is the problem.
And why do we allow our elected officials to put people like that into positions of power that have absolutely no empathy and no compassion?
It's part of the plan, Eddie.
Do you still trust the plan?
Oh, I trust the plan. I don't trust it the way that other people should have, would have, could have, wanted to have believed in.
Yeah.
The plan.
The plan is working, by the way.
Very well. It's alive and well.
The plan is alive and well, and it's working magically.
This is the reality. And look, this is probably going to be very unpopular, mean sounding, good riddance kind of sounding. I don't mean it that way. But if anybody says that they are proud to be an American right now, God help you. There is nothing to be proud of at this point in time. And to continue to beat the positivity drum and we're charging through. No, we're not. We're complacent. We let it get to this. We let it come to this. We've let this country, the country of America, be destroyed.
250th anniversary of America this year, July 4th. What do you have to be proud of? You have a constitution that is not followed at all by any of your elected officials in government, whether it be at the federal level, state, local government. Nobody follows it.
No.
And let's just go down this road. Where's the church in this? Where's the church in this? Where's the
part of the plan? Churches. Churches. Absolutely.
Joseph, you would think of any organization that would come out against this. I mean, strong and hard. It would be the church.
Yes, sir.
All I hear is crickets.
Crickets, crickets, crickets. Because we all know that they're in on it too.
And I guess that's, to me personally, I can't speak for you and I'm not going to speak for our viewers, but for me, this is what makes me feel all alone in this. There's nobody backing us up except for each other. And there's something to be said about that. But where are you? Where are you? Where are the Nick Fridas of America? Where are you, dads? Where are you, moms? You moms should be poking your husbands and the dads and saying, hey, go protect our kids. Where is that?
People have got to understand, again, this point. There are many people who are trying to distract from this. It happened way back there, including jackass Trump. Back several decades ago, it was a long time ago. It wasn't a long time ago, first of all, but that's not the point. The point is that the people in charge right now are the people who committed these crimes. They're the people who were involved. Okay? That's just the reality of it. And we can try to excuse this person and that person all day long. There are some people who know that they've been had so much that they don't even mention it on their own show right now. They won't even defend themselves. They won't even address it. Just pretend it's not happening, folks, because they know that the typical attention span of an American is about 5 seconds.
You're talking about Bannon?
Sorry, what? Sorry, what?
You know, there are... not when, the truth is coming out. And expect more and more to come out. And when braver souls decide to come forward and start naming names and start dropping receipts, there's going to be a lot of disappointment. And I know I've been disappointed in some of the names that I've heard associated with this.
Yes, sir.
And I expect there to be even more so. So prepare yourself to be disappointed. It's coming.
Yeah, just because that the people who are perceived to be as the good guys, who aren't good guys, but the people who are perceived to be our heroes, the people that we voted for, don't be invested in these people like everybody else on the left side is invested in their own people. No, if they're a bad person, that they deserve to be punished, they deserve justice, they deserve to be prosecuted, own it. This is what we allowed this to happen. The good people in America have allowed this to happen. We didn't fight hard enough against it. We were complacent. We were concerned with our comfort. We were comfortable with our lifestyle. And everybody is afraid. That's everybody. I'm not saying that we're trying to hold the people who are trying to live on the right side of history to a greater account. Everybody's accountable for it, but who's going to do something about it? The evil people? No, they're just going to keep doing it, laughing at the rest of you.
They're going to keep doing it in plain sight.
Absolutely.
That's all.
But to Nick's point, if people did say, look, we're going to make an example, and we are going to get a little medieval on this, or a lot medieval. Let's go lot medieval. No, serious. Actually. But the reality is it's probably not going to happen. And again, people want to say, oh, you're just trying to demotivate us. No, actually, I think it would be great if you were pissed off about it.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. And you have to hold these people accountable. They need to be called out every moment of the day. And actually make them not be able to walk down the street.
That's right.
Without someone calling them out, without someone pointing it out. And the more people who do that, that is the beginning of accountability.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it.
That's what I got to say.
I do want to address one big point that's floating around out there. The amount of media. This is somewhat humorous. Not laughing about it, not ha ha ha, but there is so much that is directed right now towards the man that we played at the beginning of the clip about how Epstein tried so hard to get into touch with Putin. So hard. And this is all they can repeat. And it's funny. Nobody has had a problem making outrageous claims about Putin in the past. Why is it that they can't fully commit to accusing him of actually just meeting with Putin? Or, Epstein and Putin actually meeting. They come so close, but they can't.
But then they pull it back.
Then they pull it back.
And then the one thing that was discovered in the Jeffrey Epstein files was that the Russian Federation and its leader, President Putin, actually did protect children from Ukraine.
Yes, sir.
And did bring them to Russia. But it was to protect them against traffickers.
That's right.
Sexual trafficking in Ukraine.
Epstein, they did have one part that was related to Russia in the files. It shows that Epstein did come to Russia. He did get a visa from an FSB connected entity. We're
Third-
not
third
sure
party.
who. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
again, extraordinarily convoluted. But the fact is on this side of the fence, they said, actually, Epstein did. And he met with this guy by the name of Sergei Usoltsev.
Gonzalez.
Well, it sounds like last year he mysteriously disappeared with his family.
Interesting. I wonder where he's reappeared.
Where he appeared. Yeah, he hopped the bus, so to speak, to get out of Russia last year. No more mention of it other than that.
Good timing.
Very good timing. Well played. Well played.
Well played.
Well played. And Epstein was visiting nuclear facilities in Russia.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Sure.
That's
it was
interesting.
Just
And that's kind of related to like Hillary Clinton several years later with the uranium deal and all that. That really hasn't come out yet.
yeah.
But yeah,
All of the focus
interesting.
about all of the horrible things that have happened is let's try to get it out of the United States, or at least out facing the other countries that's involved. I mean, there are some that are definitely worth mentioning in the same breath as
Sure.
Epstein, like Mossad, as an example. But look, seriously, especially if you have children, this is not something to give up on. It
Not
isn't.
at all. Not at all.
No, nobody's going. There are not going to be any consequences, and I think more than anything else, this is what people have the capability of reacting to. But this has got to end with this Democrat-Republican thing. There are just
Sure.
the same evil people. That's who they are.
And I brought this up earlier about where's the church in this? Why not ask your clergy
Good question.
on Sunday and say, hey, what do you think about this? And what is the church's position? And when are you going to do something about it? When is this going to be addressed? Because you would think that the church is interested in the family.
Not anymore, sadly. That doesn't mean every individual priest
No.
or, whatever.
But you see my
Yeah.
point. If they're part of the problem, they should not be allowed to walk down the street either.
No, sir. No, sir.
So it's not only the politicians, but it's everyone involved, and that includes the clergy.
Amen. Well,
Done.
these are...
And that's just 1 week of what's been in the news everywhere.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, insane.
Incredible.
Well, in other news, just a little bit of housekeeping. We are working on some new formats for you to bring to you very, very soon. Working on some very interesting projects coming up. But we just wanted to stick our heads up, our periscopes up, as it were, during this, just horrible, horrible tragedy that's happening to America. Our prayers for you guys.
And I think that's probably a very good point, Joseph, is that we are two Americans and we do not live in the United States. We actually live in Russia, but we still see what is happening. And we want to give you our support in whatever way we can by, one, coming on a show like this and giving it a voice.
Yes, sir.
But also, we're here to support you as well. Bring it up. Bring it up. Any chance you get, don't let them walk down the street.
That's right.
I'm done.
Amen. That's it for today on Russia Up Close. God bless you guys. Hang in there. Keep the faith.
Пока.
Пока.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.